What's going on, guys? Aero here, and guys, well, it's hard to believe, but the end of 2017 is just around the corner, and I gotta say, as a person who plays video games and as a person who has a YouTube channel, 2017 has definitely been one of the best years ever. Now, the first thing is obviously we've gotten Nintendo's newest system this year, the Nintendo Switch, which was codenamed NX, as well as some amazing games, and I've seen some awesome growth on my YouTube channel, so 2017 has just been an amazing year for me. And now that it's December and Nintendo has already released its last major game for the year, being Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's time to talk about Game of the Year for 2017. So basically all I'm going to be doing is talking to you guys real fast about every single game that I've played this year and giving you my quick impression of them and how I felt about these games, and then at the end I'll talk to you guys about which game I think out of all of the games I played this year really stood out and made my game of the year. Now before we get started, I do want to let you guys know about something pretty cool that I'm sure maybe some of you guys aren't aware of, and it's that we've reached 10,000 subscribers on this channel, and I am really grateful for that, and I couldn't have done that without you guys. And so to repay you for all of your support, I decided to do a giveaway for a $20 Nintendo eShop card. So if you guys do want to enter that, I'll have a link pinned in the comment section below so you guys can go to that, and I also have a video with some other stuff that I am doing, so if you want to go and check out that video, I'll have that linked in the comment as well, so hopefully you guys can go and check that out. I'm doing a Q&A as well, so on that video if you guys could comment some questions, that would be really appreciated as well. But anyways, let's get started. Alright, so the very first game that I played in 2017 was on my brand new system, the Nintendo Switch. And of course the game that I got on day one, as I'm sure a lot of you guys got, was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now usually when we have amazing games, we usually wait towards the end of the year to be able to get a chance to play them, as usually a lot of game developers save their best games for last, but we actually got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild right off the start of the year, and I gotta say this was an amazing game, and I couldn't believe it when I actually played it. And the thing was, this was my very first Zelda game for me, and so to experience a story like this and play through that with the combat and the exploration that was in Breath of the Wild, it was truly an amazing game for me. And you know, I usually don't have that much time anyway to play video games, and so it took me at least a month or so to beat that entire game and beat the story and all of that, and I probably still have so much more that I could still do. There's still a few more shrines that I think I still need to do, as well as just get all the Korok seeds and stuff like that. I just don't really perfect games that much, so I don't have the time to do that. But yeah, Zelda Breath of the Wild was one of my favorite games for this year. There was just so much to do. It really impressed me. It looked amazing. The art style was so cool. It was like a really beautiful game. And then there were so many parts in the game where you could stand on top of a mountain and look at the scenery, and it just looked so pretty, especially with all the times that happened in the game. Like if you looked at it during sunset or sunrise, it just looked amazing. The game was really beautiful, the story was awesome, there was voice acting. It was just an amazing game, and one of the best games that I played right at the start of this year. So after I was done playing through The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the next major game that came out on the Nintendo Switch was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now Mario Kart 8 Deluxe wasn't one of the best games that I played through in 2017, and the main reason for that is because of how I already played through so much of Mario Kart 8 when that game first came out on the Wii U. And so because of that, I already knew pretty much how Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was going to be like, just because of how I already played through so much of Mario Kart 8. It was still really pretty seeing the upgraded graphics to 1080p in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and they did add a few new things. There were a few new characters, as well as a few new carts, but really the big new thing about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the revamped battle mode, as they had some new arenas, and they had a really fun new mode called Renegade Roundup. So that was a lot of fun to play. Mario Kart 8 was still a lot of fun, but because of how I already played through so much of it on the Wii U, it really wasn't that different to me on the Nintendo Switch, and so that's why I didn't do a review for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe anyway. But yeah, still a lot of fun, and yeah, it was a really good game. So in this video, I'm actually going through all of these games in chronological order from when they came out this year, and so because of that, the next game that I would say is on this list is ARMS, but I actually didn't get ARMS on release day. I just wasn't too interested in it. I actually ended up getting ARMS as a birthday present later in the year, but I still enjoyed ARMS, and it was still pretty fun to me. I didn't get too into it. I mean, if you guys have me as a friend on your Switch, then you probably know I haven't played that many hours of ARMS. It's still a pretty fun game, and I enjoyed playing through it, and it was really cool seeing a new type of fighting game on the Nintendo Switch. It's still pretty competitive, and I know a lot of times when my friends come over and want to play at my house and play the Nintendo Switch, we always play some ARMS matches, and it's still pretty fun, especially like the new modes that they have in there with like hoops and skill shots and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun playing ARMS, and I can definitely see a competitive scene coming out for it, and I know many people are trying to get really good with it as well. It's still there. I mean, a lot of the competitiveness is in ARMS, and I can see how a lot of people want to get good in ARMS, but yeah, to me it just wasn't one of the best games that I played. It was something new and I really did enjoy it, but it was just a pretty good game that I played through this year. Alright, so the next game that I played is still one of my favorite games on my Switch, and that is Splatoon 2. So Splatoon 2 came out this summer, and it was a lot of fun playing through Splatoon 2, primarily just because of how I could finally play this game with the Pro Controller. Now when Splatoon 1 came out on the Wii U a while back, it just devastated me how I couldn't use a Pro Controller in that, and I was forced to use the gamepad. It just felt very wrong having to carry that giant gamepad with me whenever I wanted to play Splatoon, and it didn't feel right. It was just very hard for me to get used to it, and to finally be able to play with the Pro Controller in Splatoon 2, it was just really awesome. It felt really nice, and there's so much to do in Splatoon 2 as well, and I just love how there's so much to do online. You've got like turf war, there's so many fun modes that you could play in ranked play, there's also like league battles you could do with your friends, a lot of fun stuff, as well as a new update that I'm pretty sure is coming out later this year, and that's going to add another ranked mode, a ton of new gear, some new maps as well, so a lot of fun stuff in Splatoon 2, and it looks like it's going to be a game that's going to live for a long time on the Nintendo Switch. So after Splatoon 2, at the start of fall, I got my very first third-party game for my Nintendo Switch, and this was NBA 2K18. So because of how I am a basketball fan, I really wanted to get NBA 2K18 on the Switch, and even though the Switch does have less power than the other console versions, NBA 2K18 still runs very well on the Switch, and I had a lot of fun playing through it. It's just a lot of fun how I can play it wherever I go with my Nintendo Switch, and I can play through like my career on the go, as well as just play like fun matches with my friends and just give them a Joy-Con as well. There's just a lot of fun things to do in NBA 2K18, and it was still a very fun game to play this year on the Nintendo Switch. So after NBA 2K18, a really big game that I know a lot of people were looking forward to came out, and that is Super Mario Odyssey. So Super Mario Odyssey was a huge game that I know so many people were looking forward to this year, and it turned out to be an amazing adventure. I had so much fun playing through that. There was a lot of amazing things to do, so many wonderful kingdoms to go and visit. The game looked beautiful. There were so many new things that you could do. For the first time ever, Mario was able to turn into enemies, and you could use their enemies' powers against them. So that was really cool. There was just a whole bunch of new moves that Mario was able to do because of Cappy, a new character in the game, and so the game was just a lot of fun. It was really beautiful, and I had a lot of fun playing through Super Mario Odyssey. Now, I did play through other games on my Nintendo Switch like Rocket League and Skyrim, however these games did not come out in 2017, and so I can't count them in this video. However, if we're counting games that did come out in 2017, then the last game that I played was the only game I bought on my 3DS this year, and that was Pokemon Ultra Sun. And so still, even though I'm a huge Pokemon fan, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were amazing games. It just wasn't one of the best games that I played through this year. It was a lot of fun, and I can say that if you've never played through Pokemon Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is definitely the way to go. So those were some amazing games. I loved playing through them. The post game is just amazing with Rainbow Rocket and having all of the former bosses from Pokemon games, so that was really cool. The story is still very nice in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Necrozma has some really cool new secrets as well. The game's a lot of fun, but it did feel very similar to Pokemon Sun and Moon, and so because of that, it didn't feel like an amazing game for 2017. It just felt like a revamped version of Pokemon Sun and Moon, so I didn't feel like it was an amazing game this year. I still had a lot of fun playing it though. And so yeah, those are all the games that I've played through this year, and so now the moment that you've all been waiting for. If I had to choose just one game that I played through in 2017 that I enjoyed the most, I would have to go with Super Mario Odyssey. Now, from the moment when the game was first unveiled at the Nintendo Switch presentation way back in January, I was really excited to play Super Mario Odyssey. It was just amazing to see Mario return to that sandbox style game again, as well as see Mario in a different environment with like a city rather than the Mushroom Kingdom that we're always used to. So I was really excited to play Super Mario Odyssey, and with every single trailer for the game, it just kept looking better and better. And of course, the big one that I know everybody's a big fan of for trailers was the one that we got at E3, as that was the one that could show us that Mario was going to be able to take over enemies and capture them and use a whole bunch of their abilities, so that was really cool. We also got to see all of the new moves that Cappy was going to have Mario be able to do, like the spinning cap throw and stuff like that. So that was like the really big trailer that showed me all of the cool things for Super Mario Odyssey. But even though I was still very excited to play the games, I just didn't feel like it was going to live up to the expectation that Breath of the Wild already set for me when I played through that game in March. So every time I saw a trailer or some new gameplay for Super Mario Odyssey, I kept thinking, well, I know that Mario Odyssey is going to be a fun game and I'm going to enjoy playing through it, but I just don't feel like it's going to be as good as Breath of the Wild, because of how Breath of the Wild has so much more that you could do with like gameplay. You could explore shrines, you could go looking for Korok seeds, you could play through the story. There's just so much more to do in Breath of the Wild, and I felt that Mario Odyssey wasn't going to have that much gameplay and it was just going to be a simple game. But when I finally got to playing that game in my hands, I found out that there's so much more to Super Mario Odyssey, and I clearly enjoyed a lot more of Super Mario Odyssey than I did playing Breath of the Wild. And I think the really big reason for that is just because of how I enjoy playing through Mario, and it's like a cartoon type of game, whereas Breath of the Wild was a really like realistic type of game. And I think because of that and how I like fun games like that, it just felt like Mario Odyssey was much more entertaining to me. But maybe it's different for you guys. I don't know, maybe you like those realistic survival type of games, but for me, Mario Odyssey was just so much fun. Like, especially the movement in that game, it was just so much fun how I could like throw my cab, jump off of it, dive, throw it, jump off of it. It was so cool, like all that type of movement that I could do in Mario Odyssey, that you just couldn't do something like that in Breath of the Wild. It was still cool in Breath of the Wild how you could like have a paraglider and glide wherever you wanted, so there's still some fun things in Mario Odyssey and in Breath of the Wild, but I just love playing through Mario Odyssey, as well as how I could take over enemies and stuff like that. Like, you couldn't do that in Breath of the Wild, and I know Breath of the Wild still has some really fun things as well, like you could climb, and like you could climb mountains and stuff like that, and you could use swords and different types of weapons. And while Mario doesn't have any of that, it was just fun trying to use all of those different enemies and their abilities to try to get you to new places and solve puzzles. And even Mario Odyssey has so much gameplay because of all of the moons. Just like the Korok seas, there's hundreds of moons hidden inside of Super Mario Odyssey, and I had a blast trying to find through as many as that I could, and it's just a lot of fun because of how hidden they are. So yeah, Super Mario Odyssey was just an amazing game this year. Like, I was really looking forward to it, but I never thought I could have so much fun playing through it. It just was amazing, and I really did enjoy it, and it's definitely one of my best games that I played through in a long time. So yeah, there you go guys, that is my game of the year for 2017. Definitely be sure to click that like button if you guys enjoyed this video, and also comment down below and let me know what your game of the year for 2017 is as well. It doesn't have to be a Nintendo game. Like I said, I played through NBA 2K18 and some other third-party games on the Switch as well, so even if it's not a Nintendo game, you can still comment it down below. I'm always curious to see what you guys have to say. I can't wait to see what the game of the year is going to be tomorrow for the Game Awards as well. So if you guys don't know about that, the Game Awards are tomorrow, so hopefully you guys will watch that and see what the game of the year is going to be. I'm really hoping for Super Mario Odyssey. I just had so much fun playing through that, but even if Breath of the Wild wins, I can still understand that as well. So I just hope that one of those two games wins, but even though it really doesn't matter, it's up to you in the end to decide what game you really enjoy playing through the most, and for me, that was Super Mario Odyssey. But yeah, definitely comment down below what your game of the year for this year was as well. And yeah, if you are new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Nintendo content in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Go follow me on Twitter at Aero if you ever want to tweet me something or ask me something. I'm usually able to reply to everyone on Twitter, so definitely go and follow me there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.